Fortnitemares 2024 might just be the most important seasonal event in Fortnite history. It's not a surprise that seasonal events have been terrible for the last couple of years, arguably. I know last year I said I liked Fortnite Chapter 4's Fortnitemares more than Fortnite Chapter 3's, but the more I think about it, I actually think Chapter 3 did a better job. And it's because at least we got a little bit of diversity on the map. But after seeing some of the leaks, it has me wondering, is this year the year that we finally return to a classic Fortnitemares styled event? I'm gonna be completely transparent with everybody. This is my favorite time of year to play Fortnite. We have now officially entered spooky season. I love the fall time in general. I love the feeling I get when I'm outside. I love the changing of the leaves. I love how cool the air feels on my skin. I like the warm glow that the sunsets have in the evening time when the days get a little shorter. Everything about fall time to me feels magical, and there's a specific feeling that comes with it. Now, because of that, I think this is probably why Fortnite, for me, is the most fun to play around this time. Over the last couple of years, Fortnitemares just has not felt the same. But it hasn't just been this event, it's been all the other seasonal events as well. Number 2 on my list would definitely be Christmas, and I don't even need to get into why Winterfest last year just didn't hit. Summerfest is one that I honestly don't care about too much, which is why I wasn't disappointed this year. But for those who do love Summerfest and that's your favorite event, I get why you would be a little disappointed. But right now we're here to talk about Fortnitemares because this is the one that everyone has their eyes on right now. Next Tuesday, I believe we should be in full swing to Fortnitemares, and that will get us prepared for Fortnite OG, which also has insane implications. But before we get into any of that, I want to talk about some of the things that I've seen that are getting me excited and a little hopeful for why Fortnitemares 2024 might just be peak. So to kick things off, this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, it looks like we are going to be getting a new live event. This is their rise to be Dr. Doom versus Hope, and this is going to be the thing that leads us into Fortnitemares. For the entirety of this season, we know that Mephisto was a looming presence in the background, and I think that Dr. Doom is going to have some kind of ties with Mephisto and using his power in order to affect the Fortnite island. Now, when I originally heard about this, I was hoping that it was going to lead into a Marvel Zombies kind of a theme, but I think what they're going for actually might be quite a bit better. Based on the key art I'm seeing, it looks like they're going for an evil pumpkin kind of a theme with giant vines spreading all around different POIs and locations. And speaking of POIs, it's rumored that there are going to be 3 that change over the course of the map: Brawler's Battleground, Restored Reels, and Grand Glacier. That is an insane improvement over last year, and also it kind of shows something else that I've been talking about on this channel for a while, something that has me hopeful for the future of Fortnite in general, but we'll get into that in a little bit too. But it has me thinking, if Epic Games is going to put this much effort into the map, why not just go ahead and add zombies and fog as well? And once again, if they're going this far, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to think or even hope that we could see that in this Fortnitemares event. Now, one thing I always talk about on this channel is that Fortnite is at its most fun when it focuses on its own original concepts rather than collabs. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't want collabs in the game or that they shouldn't do collabs, but when Fortnite is focused on creating the gameplay loop more fun and the collabs are an added bonus, that's when the game is at its peak. It satisfies both the Fortnite fans and the fans of whatever franchise is being brought into the game. And I think the 2 collabs they have coming up are a prime example of how this could be executed properly. So first off, for the last few weeks, we've known that Saw was going to be coming into the game. Outside of getting a good look at his Fortnite skin, we actually have a better idea of what his mythic is going to be. Apparently, it's an explosive item called the Boom Billy. It spawns a little mini Saw guy that follows around your enemy players until it eventually blows up or your enemies destroy it, all while chanting out, "Do you want to play a game?" We all love it when Fortnite adds goofy items in, but this just feels so on brand and so on theme for multiple reasons. Not only does it pay respect to Saw, but it also just encapsulates what's fun about Fortnite. Like having a little mini puppet guy on a bicycle that just travels around trying to blow up people is hilarious to me. Once again, it feels like it's in the spirit of Fortnite, but also staying on theme with Fortnitemares and also paying respect to the original source material. The same thing goes for the Mephisto collab that we're going to be getting. Apparently, Mephisto will appear on the Fortnite island as an NPC and will offer services to revive teammates. You can offer Mephisto 20 health to receive a random weapon, 40 health to receive an augment, and 99 health to reboot your entire squad. That is freaking cool. Now, I don't know if he's going to spawn in the same location every time or just randomly around the map. I almost think it would be cooler if he spawned randomly. That way people would have to go and search for him all throughout the Fortnite island, but like he has like a set path that he goes on, like there's specific spawn locations. But the thing that excites me about this is that it gives us another thing to kind of fight over on the map or give us another asset that can help us in a battle royale setting. The idea of being able to revive my entire team instantly by me giving up some of my health is an interesting trade-off. It's a high risk, high reward type scenario, and it adds a new layer of depth to the gameplay, but in a fun, playful way that's on brand once again with Fortnitemares and with Mephisto's character. I feel like Epic is putting some really good thought into the gameplay aspect, and this feels like a rewarding way to bring in a collab. It's enhancing the gameplay experience while also keeping the collab as part of the focus. Now here's the thing, and this is what I want everyone to keep in mind. Even though we have these leaks, this does not mean that any of these things are coming to Fortnite. I think there's a good chance that they might. Like, we've heard about the 3 POIs changing for a while, but it's not guaranteed, and that's what people need to understand about leaks. Although the leakers are very good at what they do, they have been wrong in the past. I'm hoping and praying that we get to see all of this stuff inside of Fortnite, but there's a good chance that we either get only a little bit of this or maybe even none of it at all. So this is what I want my audience to understand. I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to be the best Fortnitemares that we've had in 3+ years, but if we get all of this stuff, I will say it does make it a good contender. There's a couple more really important points that I want to emphasize here. One is to Epic Games and the other is to the community. Epic, I hope you guys are seeing how excited everyone is by these leaks. I know that sometimes things might get shifted around because Epic doesn't like the leakers revealing everything before it comes out, and I completely understand that. I know that that could be frustrating. However, when it comes to this event, let this one be. I'm hoping that everything that I'm seeing getting leaked actually ends up inside of the game. We have had 2 years of lackluster events, specifically my favorite one, Fortnitemares, and as much as I still love playing this game, there is something to be said for the traditions that you have set in place. The seasonal events should always be a priority for your game, because it makes your player base happy. And if I'm being transparent, the happier the player base is, the more money you make. People will be more enthused to buy collab skins if you make sure that the gameplay and the map changes are fun. Speaking of map changes, this is what I want the community to keep in mind. I know that we've had a lot of discussions on this channel recently about the state of Fortnite and Epic Games being lazy, but I want the community to understand something. And this is a point that I've been saying for the last few months now. I think that for the last 2 years, Epic has been going through some severe growing pains. They wanted to expand the game past what it was while also maintaining the loyal player base that they had, which is a very difficult thing to do, especially while losing your chief creative officer, Donald Mustard. I don't think that people understand how difficult it can be for a company to keep a consistent flow while losing their leader that they've had steering the ship for the last few years. There's a certain culture and sense of direction that a leader brings to any big project like this, and when they're gone, everything gets reshuffled, scrambled, and moved around. The fact that Fortnite has been able to maintain what it's had ever since Donald Mustard's departure, while also working on the Find It in Fortnite model, regardless of what you think about it, is pretty impressive. Also, I'd like a few people to concede this. If we get all of these changes this Fortnitemares, I think it proves that Epic Games does actually listen to the community and the player base. Not to mention all the other changes and game modes that we've gotten this year that have already proved that, but specifically for this live event, if this one is good, and they give us the map updates like we've been asking for, mid-season map changes where POIs actually transform and change in the middle of a season, as well as giving us a good seasonal event with interesting items and cosmetics and decorations and fog and the zombies, all that. If we get these things added to the game, I think that is a good indication that Epic Games has been working their way back up to building momentum to get things kind of how they used to be, like they were in Chapter 2 and early Chapter 3. What I'm getting at is when you go through some of the things that Epic Games has as a company, it takes time to build back up to the old status quo you had. Layoffs, a change in leadership, and a new direction for the game will make things feel a little weird from our perspective, and we don't see all the things that are going on behind the scenes to understand why that is. But this genuinely gives me hope. Now, I want to make one more thing very clear. Even if this is the greatest Fortnitemares of all time, that does not mean that Winterfest is going to be good. I will say this, if this Fortnitemares is trash, and by trash, I don't mean that it has to deliver on every single thing that's been leaked, but there has to be like a solid effort in theming around this Fortnitemares. Like it needs to feel like Halloween, like they need to update things in the game to kind of give it a different aesthetic. If we don't get some kind of transformation to the Fortnite Island and maybe to the Fortnite lobby and the item shop to kind of give us those fall time Halloween vibes, then I don't have much hope for the future of Fortnite seasonal events. I definitely won't be holding out hope for Winterfest if this one is not good, but for any future seasonal events after this, if this one does not knock out of the park, I will be severely disappointed, and I'm not going to be looking forward or expecting seasonal events to be anything of any significance. Doesn't mean I'm going to like it, and it also doesn't mean that I'm going to support that decision. As a matter of fact, if that is the case, I will make a video talking about how disappointed I am with the state of seasonal events and pray for a change. But as of right now, I'm 50-50. I just really want this to be good for the sake of the community, because I feel like We need this. We're getting our live events back, like the one that's happening this Saturday, which, by the way, I will be streaming live at least 2 hours before the live event starts, just to hang out with all you guys. Live event starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, so I'll probably start my stream at 12 noon Eastern. But outside of this Saturday's live event, it's also rumored that we're going to be getting a live event for the end of the season as well, leading us into OG. And speaking of which, I think that I know what they're building up towards. Mephisto's presence on the Fortnite island has huge implications, not just for Fortnitemares, but for how we're going to get into Fortnite OG. And if you want to know, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because this Saturday, I'm going to explain to everyone how Fortnitemares is going to take us into OG Chapter 2.